Hi guys, this is Aslam Khan here to teach you today statement of financial position and statement of profit and loss account. This is 2019 questions which we are going to do today. This is going to help for your exams as much as possible. You can score better marks if you know how to do profit and loss account and balance sheet. So today I'm going to teach you the easy techniques to do a balance sheet and a profit and loss account. This can be tested on your paper 1 for 5 MCQs or 6 MCQs, and also in paper 2 most of the time it is tested on question number 7, Roman number 2 or Roman number 3. Let's start now with this sum. You might see here I have written this trial balance, which is trial balance of Sankar's retail business as at 31st/12/2018 is as follows. Let me read the question, then I'll move on to the sum. So here they have given building at cost, debit 350,000, provision for depreciation 140,000, stock as at 1st/1/2018. So here you need to understand one thing. If they have given stock as at first is line, it is opening stock of the business. That's the reason it is on debit side, which is 30,000. Purchases is 220,000. Sales 300,000. Debtors 40,000. Creditors 30,000. Discount allowed is 2,500. Discount received is 2,000. Electricity charges is 5,000. Bad debts is 1,500. 12% bank loan, so this is an non-current liability which they have represent 100,000, as well as bank loan interest 10,000 and cash balance 35,000, telephone charges 2,000 and capital 124,000. Easy as possible. Let's move on to the additional information. If always remember when you are doing a sum, always start with the additional information. Then of course you can't go wrong. After finishing these 3 adjustments on additional information, doing the sum is going to be very easy. Only you will get confused on depreciation part, as well as you will get confused on bank loan interest part. So you need to be very careful in these areas, because those areas the examiner is very peculiar in selecting the question and giving and finding out the answer is correct or not. So let's move on to the additional information. Stock as at 31st/12/2018 is rupees 22,000. Building should be depreciated annually at 20% on straight line method. Accrued electricity charges as at 31st/12/2018 is rupees 1,000. I explain one by one. First of all, I start with the first additional information, which is stock as at 31st/12/2018 is rupees 22,000. So now they are saying 31st/12/2018. So you need to understand this 22,000 is the closing stock. So where do I measure the closing stock? I just want to know there's only 2 places I want to put the closing stock. Putting this in 2 places will give you 2 marks on your paper. So let me teach you where to put this closing stock. See here, always start with your starting income statement. Always start with sales. Leave some space, maybe 2 lines, and put a topic cost of sales. And remember not to forget to write the topic's name, statement and profit and loss account for the year ended, because examiner says that if you don't write, you will lose marks on your exam paper. He will not give you mark for this statement. He might give for the workings, but for heading they will reduce a mark on your exams. So on the Oscar says you might you can leave some space, maybe 4 lines, and write closing stock. So here we found closing stock as is a deduction. So here you can see closing stock as 22,000. So I'm going to write here 22,000. And I'm going to put in brackets, it's a deduction. And the second thing we need to do when it comes to closing stock, once you have recorded under cost of sales this closing stock as 22,000, you need to transfer this into current asset as inventory. You will never say closing stock, you need to say it as inventory. So I'll write here inventory 22,000. Always use the second column whenever you are doing the current asset. Please do not use the first column, because the first column should be only used for non-current asset adjustments, not the current asset adjustments. For all the current asset, non-current liability or current liability adjustment, you will always use the second column when you are doing the sum. So here inventory is 22,000. So this is the inventory which I have taken as closing stock under cost of sales. That's the first adjustment, the basic adjustment. So let's move on to the second adjustment. They are saying that building should be depreciated annually at 20% on straight line method. So how do we depreciate building on straight line method? First of all, I need to know the cost of the building. Building at cost is how much? 350,000. So as here I don't find much space, I'm going to do the working here. Working number 1, which is going to be very convenient for me to do this. So building at cost is 350,000. Always take cost and multiply the percentage which they are given, which is 20%. So here the cost is 350,000 and 20% will give me 70,000. So this is the actual depreciation of building. So you need to know that when you are doing the expense, when you are doing the expense part of statement of profit and loss account, expenses are divided into three: distribution expense, administration expense, and finance expense. So I'm going to take this under administration expense because building is a part of administration. You use the building day to day, so I will consider the expense as the depreciation expense as administration expense. So here I'm going to put 3. I'll leave some spaces for gross profit, leave some spaces for other income, and I'll write here expense. I'll start with distribution expense. Then I will write here, I'll leave 2 lines, more than enough for me to do. Then I'll write administration expense. Then I will do finally finance and other expense. Okay. So making it short and sweet, let's move on to the sum very faster. Cost, we got depreciation as 70,000. I'm going to write under administration as depreciation of building. So it is going to be 70,000. So that's done. So you need to remember when you are doing the buildings and the depreciation adjustment, once you have taken the depreciation, you need to see that is there any accumulated depreciation. So accumulated depreciation we can also say that's provision for depreciation. Here in this area you might say building at cost and provision for depreciation of building, they are given 140,000. So when I have taken the accumulated depreciation, I should take the provision for depreciation, add with the current year depreciation, then only I should find accumulated depreciation. Now you might see provision for depreciation is 140,000, depreciation is 70,000. So what is my actual provision for depreciation this year? It's very easy. My provision for depreciation will become 140,000 plus this 7,000 will get me 210,000. So I'm going to take this 210,000 under non-current assets accumulated depreciation under the term called building. So let's finalize one by one. Building. Here I have how much I have? Here I have 350,000. Whenever you do a sum on exam, always put a tick that you have done this sum. So the examiner, I mean you know that when you prefer that you have taken those values onto the paper. So it will make your time much easy to manage. So building is how much? 350,000. I'm going to deduct 210,000 and I will get 140,000. So this is we have done with building at cost and provision for depreciation. So our basic adjustments on these two additional information is almost completed. The last but not least adjustment is accrued electricity charges. You need to know what is accruals when you are doing the sum. There are two things you will be tested on paper, either a prepayment or an accruals. Prepayment is deducted in income statement and added under current asset. Accruals is added under income statement and presented under current liabilities. So you need to know why accruals are added, because you are making the payment a bit later. So this payment should be paid in future. That's the reason, because it is relevant to that particular income statement year. That's the reason we are taking it as a addition, because for income statement for that particular year the whole amount should be taken for 12 months. You can't keep 10 months payment and 2 months as balance. You need to pay the whole amount, so you need to represent the whole total of these balances. Now we have got these balances when it comes to accrued electricity charges. Let's move on to electricity charges here. It's a day-to-day expenses. So I write under administration electricity. Actually I have a 5,000 balance, so I'll add 5,000 plus 1,000. It will represent 6,000. So you might see my values are going out of the boxes. You should not do that in your exams. As I have limited space to represent the question as well as the answer in one board, I need to show it a bit congested way, but try not to do the same way in exams. You need to take these brackets outside this columns. So let's move on to the next part. Now this 1,000 is an amount which we have not paid, but we need to pay in future, so it becomes an accrual one. So I'll write here, leave one space line and write accrue electricity. So I can show here, as I said, use always the second column 1,000. So accrued electricity is 1,000. So once you have written these accruals, you are almost done with this additional information. Now it's just the easy part, just to record the things in the correct places. We have to record. You need to know this basic format. I have represented under you. You can see my few more videos which I have already put on profit and loss. 2018, 2017 and 2016 I have already represented. So if you really want to know how these adjustments and this format works, please refer those videos. It will be very helpful for you to score your exams. So now here you might have, let's move on one by one. Stock as at 1st 2018 is 30,000. So opening stock, I will write here opening stock as 30,000. Easy. So we are done with that. Then we have purchases. I need to add purchases with opening stock. I have purchases of 220,000. So I am ticking purchase 220,000. So I am done with that. Then I have sales. Always record the whole thing. Then after you can come and adjust the whole thing. Sales is how much? 300,000. So I have recorded 300,000 sales. So we are done with that also. So we are moving on to the debtors adjustment. Let's record debtors now. Debtors is 40,000. So I will record it under current asset as debtors 40,000. So easy. Always use the second column when you are doing the sum. And let's move on to the next part. Creditors, also known as trade payables. You can write creditors or trade payables. That's not a problem. It's 30,000. It's a current liability. Always remember to leave a space whenever you are doing current liability. First thing you should write is creditors. So I'll write here creditors. How much is creditors? 30,000. So I'll record here 30,000. So that's done. Then we move on to the next part. Discount allowed. Discount allowed is a type of expense which you incur when you are selling the product towards a credit customer. So it should come under distribution expense. So I'll write here discount allowed as 2,500. So when I'm with that, then we move on to discount received. It's an income which you get when you make the payment towards the credit supplier. So I will consider it as other income, and yeah, under that I will write it as discount received 2,000. So I'm done with discount received 2,000. Electricity charge is already done. Bad debts, it's a distribution expense because when you sell the credit customer, if he don't pay you, then of course it becomes a bad debt. So I'll take it under distribution expense as bad debts as 1,500. So I've done this bad debts adjustment also. Now in this point, which is 12% bank loan, you should be very careful. This adjustment is very important in exams. Many students cannot make it balance the sum because they don't know this adjustment. So please be very much concerned on this area. So 12% bank loan is how much? 100,000. As I do not have some space, I'm gonna remove this off from here. Okay. So working number 2, maybe I'm gonna use bank loan. Bank loan is 100,000. So 12% interest will become 100,000 into 12 over 100 will give me 12,000 as interest. Now I just need to know this is the amount of interest I should pay, but actually how much interest I have paid. Now here you might see there I have paid only 10,000, but here I have paid I should pay 12,000. So actually I need to pay 2,000. So actually I have paid 10,000. So I will reduce this and show you how much I should pay. 2,000. Now you need to remember one thing. This 12,000 is the amount which will go to income statement, and this 2,000 is the amount which should be shown it under current liability. Why it should be shown it under current liability? Because it's the amount you should pay in future, but it's less than 1 year. You don't pay bank loan interest after a year. It should be paid within that particular year. So you will take this 2,000 as current liability, and also this 12,000 should be considered as part of income statement because you need to take the bank loan interest for the whole particular year. This should be shown under finance and other expense. You can say you don't want to say finance and other expense. You can also say finance expense. It's still correct on exams. So I'll write here interest on bank loan or interest on bank loan. So it's 12,000. I will represent here. Then I'm done with 12% bank loan interest, but there's small adjustment I should do. There's a 2,000 accrued bank loan interest. I will show it under current liability as accrued bank loan interest. It is 2,000. So now I have recorded the bank loan, accrued bank calculate my sum. I just want to put my cash balance, then I just need to record telephone charges. Then I'm done. Cash balance is 35,000. So I'm going to take it under current asset as cash, which is 35,000. Then I have one more thing. Telephone charges 2,000 is an administration expense. So I'll write in an administration expense as telephone charges. How much is telephone charges? 2,000. So I'll record 2,000 here. Then I have capital 124,000. Yes. So 124,000. I will use the second column. I have missed one thing, which is bank loan. This 12% bank loan 100,000. I forgot to take. So I'll take this 12% bank loan here. So I'm done with recording the whole stuff. Now I just want to know what I have done is correct or wrong. Always use the second column when you're doing the adjustment. So here is 100,000. So let's see, there's no non-current assets. I am going to take 140,000 here. So it has current assets. I think the current asset is almost done. So 22,040 plus 35. So 22 plus 40 is 62. 62 plus 35 will give you 97,000. So 140 plus 97 will give you 237,000 should be your total assets. Let's see, before we finalize capital, I just want to find out my net profit. If it is net profit or loss, I'm going to adjust under capital, then I'll find out is it correct or wrong what I have taken. So let's move on to opening stock. So this is the value. I'm going to finalize this value. 30,000 plus 220,000 is 250,000. 250,000 minus 22,000 will give you 228,000. So I'm going to deduct 228,000 with this 300,000. I will get 72,000 as gross profit. Very important to term this in exam. So if you don't term, you will lose marks, 1 marks for this. Other income, it should be shown properly. Take 2,000. So I will take 74,000. And then you have 2,500 and 1,500 as expenses. So this will become 4,000. Then you have 70,000, 6,000, 2,000 and 78,000 under administration expense. So 78,000 deduction and finance expense 12,000. So I'm going to deduct it with the profit and see. So here 74,000, you might see that the expenses are higher than the income you have earned. So which means Sankar Retail business is not doing their business properly. They should develop to do the business much better. So let's deduct and see. 4,000 and 78,000 is 82,000 plus 12,000 will become 90. Yeah, give me a second. 82 plus 12,000 will become 94,000. So if I deduct 94,000 with 74,000, I will get 20,000 loss. So I say that's not net profit. I'm going to erase this because to make it a bit clear for you. This is net. Say net loss. It's not net profit, it's a net loss. Normally net loss doesn't come in exam, so don't get upset when you see net loss. It's just a bit to confuse you. Normally this doesn't come. Once in a while the examiner tests you in this way. So net loss is 20,000, so I'll take it under capital as net loss. When you deduct this 20,000, so we'll get 104,000. Easy. So here 30, 31, 33. So 33,000 is your current liability. 100,000 and 204,000. 204,000 plus 33,000 will give you 237,000. So balancing your account is very easy. But in the last term, I just want to remind you. You write here total equity and total liabilities. So you should always write like in front of this value and say don't go after this column, this area. Be very careful, guys. So this is all I can give you from my side. I have taught you 2019 profit and loss account and balance sheet within a small particular period of time. Please spend some time and practice in your profit and loss account because it will give you almost 18 marks on your O-level paper. It's going to cost you a lot. So don't lose these marks. It's going to make you to go for an A star. A because and you will be ending up with a B or C based on the knowledge in profit and loss account. Going to exam without knowing profit and loss is like going to a war without having a gun in your hand. So with that advice, let's move on. Aslam Khan here. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel to learn more with us, and also to, if you want more videos on 2019 papers, Please specify the areas which I want to put, and I will give my best to support you. See you guys at the next video. Bye.